It's about the crowd. It's about the music. It's about the sound you make and the rush you get. It's about the gear that makes it happen. Tech for Music, Northampton's premier DJ store with a massive choice of decks, speakers, lighting, special effects, and the latest DJ gear on the market. Try it out in our demonstration showroom and get expert advice, or shop online 24/7. Tech for Music. See techformusic.co.uk.
Yes, we are a little bit late, but all good things are worth waiting for. Welcome along to the third edition of Tech Talk Tuesday with myself, Ryan, my colleague, Mr. Tom DeChico, and Mr. Ian Watson, wherever he is behind me. How we doing?
Hello everybody. Hope you're all well.
I think so. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yep.
Good. Hope all the people watching are well. Good afternoon to David Wellett, already on, and yes, so we've got quite an exciting show lined up this afternoon. We're going to be talking about the CDJ 3000 first, and we've got a very special guest on with us this afternoon. Sammy from Pioneer will be on talking to us about that. We've also got the Denon Prime 2, the Denon Prime Go, and the Stag Trance 60, which is a great lighting fixture that Ian will show off to you, and that'll be a bit later on. So yes, how are we all doing? We all good? We all good? Good. We did put a post up, didn't we, on the Facebook page the other week about the Dream Weekend, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So if anyone's that's my dream weekend, David. I need a haircut. That is my dream weekend. But we'll talk to you about that towards the end of the show, because I think Ian's got his dream weekend. I don't know about you, Tom. Have you got a dream weekend in mind?
Yeah, it's nothing that special.
What, getting a haircut?
That'd be a start, definitely.
Oh my God. Right. Okay then, I think we'll get on with the very first product this afternoon, and I'm hoping that this is going to work. This is the first time.
No pressure.
No pressure. This is the first time we're going to attempt this. We've got Sammy on the line. Hopefully he'll bring his camera on now, and we're going to speak to him. And let's just make sure that everything's working, and he can...
I can see the sweat coming from Ryan.
The sweat is... Yeah, oh, I can see him there. There he is.
You are logged into Tech Talk Tuesday with techformusic.co.uk, talking all things tech on a Tuesday.
I'll hand it over to you, Tom.
Hello. Right, so yeah, I'm going to cover the 3000 today. Obviously Pioneer DJ, been around a long time, especially in the music industry. Obviously they do a lot of other things, but Pioneer DJ, kind of a very reputable brand in the DJ industry. Yep. The CDJ 300, I think it was, that was released in 1992. Wow. So yeah, a long time ago. Actually, I've even got something pretty cool to show you here. If I can just grab it. This is like what we're kind of...
One we made earlier.
Wow, look at that.
It's a 500S.
Nice.
So you can see how much it's changed over the years. I mean, this was 94, I believe. So, yeah, come a long way. So, the 3000, obviously there was a lot of talk about this. A lot of people were looking forward to the release. A lot of speculation, as there always is on these things. But now it's out, obviously we can basically see what's new, see what's exciting on it. I mean, from kind of straight off, as soon as I saw it for the first time, I noticed obviously it's got a bigger and higher resolution screen, which I think, depending on obviously where you're using it, especially in like nightclubs and stuff, that's going to make a big difference. Also, the redesigned jog wheel I noticed was a lot smoother. That feels really nice, and obviously the additional hotkey buttons that have been moved to the top there. So they're like three things that I noticed straight away, but I know there's obviously a lot more than that that's been added and developed and changed. So what I'll do is I'll pass over to Sammy. I've got some questions for him basically, so I'll start firing them away. How you doing, Sammy? All right?
Yes, good mate. Good mate. How are you?
Good. Excellent. So Sammy, as just in case you don't know, Sammy is our Pioneer specialist for the UK, so
Pioneer
he's the
DJ,
best person.
Pioneer DJ
Pioneer
specialist.
DJ specialist, I should say. Sorry,
Wow.
he doesn't know
Yeah.
anything about car stereos.
No, I don't know anything. Just
So
literally
yeah,
DJ.
so I mean, from your kind of perspective, obviously you've spent a lot of time with this and the previous model. What would you say are the biggest differences between the 2000 Nexus 2 and the 3000?
So in regards to differences, there is a whole heap of list of differences, and we could spend an afternoon going through the ins and outs of the differences and the benefits, but I've just picked a couple that stand out for me that were the big kind of changes that is really kind of taking it into its own kind of realm with the CDJ 3000. The Nexus 2 was wicked. CDJ 2000 Nexus 2 is the one that I would use when I go out to every club. So it's industry standard. And yeah, a lot of people were waiting for the upgrade, and it's just nice that we've come with a load of new features. And definitely the best multiplayer on the market at this moment in time. And I predict for the upcoming years until we release our next one. So I'm excited for things to go back to normal, gigs to be played, so we can really see what the DJs have been doing in the spare time and see them get creative on the CDJ 3000. So the first thing that I want to talk about that was the biggest kind of difference for me really was the industrial grade MPU. This is our first player that has an MPU driven unit. The microprocessor is the driving force behind the player, and this features two types of multi-core CPU. Alongside this, you probably guys are thinking like, what does this bring to the table, this MPU? And what this does, this allows for different things. So if I quickly switch my camera, this isn't too great in terms of a camera, so apologies, you may not be able to see the actual wordings, but it's just different things. So if you watch, when I load my tracks, lightning fast. Every time I load a track, it comes up so quick. For me, when I'm playing, this is really important. Also, loading my cue points, hot cues. We also have a new feature on here called key sync. Without the MPU, these things wouldn't be possible. And also leads us on to like a question later on that Tom's going to ask, but touch preview and touch cue at 96K playback. Now, I'm going to go into this into more detail, but it's a feature that really changed the game for the CDJ 3000. And again, all these things aren't possible without the MPU inside the unit. Another thing to mention, all the things I was saying about the touch cue, hot cues, the high quality key shift and key sync, these are all performed in parallel with each other, which makes it the most powerful multiplayer on the market. Like I said, when the guys go out and play and girls in the clubs, I can't wait to see what people are going to do on these players. So the next thing that I want to touch on is that we are looking at now is the touchscreen. So on the previous model, the 2000 Nexus 2, it was 7 inches. This has now been upgraded to 9 inches, touch responsive, high definition, with a resolution of 1280 by 720p. It's our most precise and clearest display we've ever produced to date. You can clearly see this by, I know my camera's not great, but this is our new 3-band waveform. When I'm kind of going through everything, the screen's nice and big so I can see everything. Also, I've got the LCD down to the lowest brightness at the moment, so you guys can see it. But as I go up, you can see how bright it actually gets. I'll leave that on 1 just so it's a little bit more easy for you guys to see. But yeah, the two things for me, so we don't go on too long, is the MPU, industrial MPU, and the 9-inch touchscreen. Them are two kind of like key points. And as we go on, Tom, there's other bits I'm going to mention that also come into the differences between the Nexus 2 and the CDJ 3000, but I'll save them for a little bit later on.
Cool, wicked. Yeah, no, I think, like you say, looking at it, the first thing that is the first noticeable thing I felt was the screen, the resolution and the speed of it. Yeah, like just going from track to track, and depending on how you're mixing, whether you're mixing in key or using the track filter, everything was just instant. There was no lag at all. I didn't think there was anyway.
Yeah. And considering we've got stuff like the key sync on there, and different things like that, like this takes a lot of power to get right. And like I just previously said, it's the most amazing thing about this. It can do everything in parallel with each other, which means that you're always getting the best out of the unit. And if you're playing in the clubs, that's the type of reliability that you want on your player, which we always deliver anyway. And I'd no doubt this was going to deliver the same kind of power, if not more, and also reliability to the 2000 Nexus 2. And it does that and more. So yeah, I couldn't be more happier with our CDJ 3000.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously, with it being released in the middle of a pandemic, we've not really had a kind of chance to see it properly in clubs and bits. So I think obviously as and when clubs and festivals reopen and everyone starts renewing their kit, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of 3000s out there, and it'll be really good to kind of see them being used in the real world.
Yeah, I can't wait for when the live streams start to happen where they're actually live gigs. And we get to see a live crowd, and we get to see the DJs using the CDJ 3000, and it's going to be so evident on camera they are the 3000s, because up against the 2000 Nexus 2, that kind of screen difference in size is quite evident. So, and also you've got small things like we've now got on-job display with the CDJ 3000. It's small, but for an artist it's great because I have the artwork of the track, or I could be quite smart and change the artwork of the track to say my logo, and I could plaster that across all of the decks, which means if you've got any top-down cameras, you're always going to see your logo, which is a nice bit of advertisement for the artists themselves. So the way we've made these is like you can customize the CDJ to be like how you want to play with all the settings, different things. So yeah, as you go into it further, if anybody wants to look further into this, definitely check Tech for Music store out, because they have got the CDJ 3000s there. And when things are back to normal and you can go in the shop, I definitely recommend getting down there and having a mix.
Yeah, we do actually have a 2000 out still, and that's obviously, like I say, it's a good reference point for people who are looking to see what the main differences are, and having them both next to each other, you can really see obviously there's a huge difference in the screen, and just like things like the jog wheel and stuff and them extra features, which does lead me on to my next question, which was something I was reading about, which I thought was a great feature, is the track preview feature.
Yeah, so the track preview. So let me actually again switch cameras just so you can kind of see, even though you can't see clear, I know the camera's not full in HD, but so you can kind of see what you was doing. There we go. So I'm going to get this track up here, and we've got two types of preview. We've got touch preview, and then we also have touch cue. Touch preview, what this is in the left hand side of the screen, you can see we've got the actual previews of the track. You can toggle this on and off, which is handy, which allows you to see more of the wording, and you can add a column in here so I can have artist and then see the full track. But if I put preview on, I can see the preview down the left hand side. So what this allows me to do, just to mention guys, to be able to do this, you have to be running your CDJ 3000 through a DJM V10, that's what I've got connected at the moment, or a 900 Nexus 2 mixer. And the only way that you can get this to work is for our Pro DJ link. And this means you have to have an Ethernet cable coming out the back of the mixer, going into a hub, which will allow this feature to work. Also on your mixer, you need to put Q-Link on. And as you will see, that Q-Link bottom is in the bottom left of the V10 and 900 Nexus 2. Once you've done this, you're able to, we've actually got some headphones here. So if I put my headphones kind of like around this area here, you can kind of hopefully be able to hear this on the Zoom call. So when I touch the track, I'll turn it up a little bit. As you can hear, can you hear that your end?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me touching the track. And I'm able to listen to different parts of the track before I even load it into the deck. And just to mention, guys, obviously the crowd can't hear this. This is just happening in your headphones. So for me, I've been using this where sometimes I get a bunch of new tracks and I queue them up and I haven't really got time to go through the different parts of the track. So before I load it, I will use the touch preview and go through the different areas of the track that I'm going to play and have a little listen before I drop it in. It's definitely a great feature for if you're going to kind of go off the cuff, and you're going to go in a different direction of mixing that you wouldn't normally go due to like the crowd's responsiveness. So yeah, definitely a great feature. And the next one is when you loaded a track. So if I load on this track here, as you can see, we've got the waveform at the bottom. So if I play this track, let me put a bit more of an exciting track to play. So this track here, I'm playing this now. You might not be able to hear this because it's coming out of my speakers. It's quite quiet at the moment, so you can hear me. But the great thing about Touch Cue is I can now preview later on in the track. So I can now see the progression of the track later on. Again, this is great for if you've loaded in a track and you are going to get to this breakdown here and you can't actually remember what happens in that breakdown. There's actually another feature I like about this. Once you hold it down and you can hear the track, let me turn that down. Once you can hear the track, you can't see this, but there's actually a bar structure underneath the track, which shows me that that breakdown is a 32 bar breakdown. So alongside being able to hear what's going on later on in the track, I can also see the bar progression. Just makes it a great added feature. It's such a small feature, but in terms of like a DJ and how you play out, it's a massive feature, and it just makes it so much more easier for the DJ to understand their tracks better, to be more, essentially, if you're unprepared, it's going to make you a little bit like seem like you're a lot more prepared because you can now do this all on the fly, where previously you'd have to do a lot more prep work of listening to the tracks to know what's coming up, where now I could run off someone else's USB, listen to the tracks on my headphone and kind of get a feel for what I want to play. So yeah, Touch Preview and Touch Cue, two great features.
Awesome. Yeah, wicked. And I suppose the last thing I wanted to ask you is, as someone who is a DJ themselves, so coming from like kind of your own personal approach, what excites you most about the 3000? Obviously, you know, in time as and when the festivals and clubs will be opening, you'll be playing again, and having it in that environment. What on the unit now would kind of excite you the most, knowing that it's all new?
Cool. So in terms of like the newer features that have changed the way that I've mixed, they're all kind of really small things that just for me makes the CDJ 3000 the only player that I want to use when I go out and play live. And I think this would be the same for a lot of people. Just to mention, guys, as well, even though it's an upgrade and there are loads of new features on it, the layout is still inherits the same layout as our Nexus 2 range, CDJ Nexus 2. We don't want to completely reinvent the wheel. We want to keep it familiar. So as a DJ, when I walked onto this from the 2000 Nexus 2, I felt at home, which is always a positive, because I know a lot of DJs, like you said, Tom, they haven't actually played out yet and played on these. So I think a lot of them will be nervous to think that these might be in the clubs and they haven't touched them. So just to reassure them that they're not going to feel like they're not going to know how to use it. It's very much in line with, say, our record box experience. So when you're using the screen, it's very familiar to the software you would use to compare the tunes. So in regards to actually walking on and be able to use them, it should be fine for nearly all the DJs. My first point that I want to make in terms of kind of key feature, I will quickly move the camera so you can see, is the beat jump. So it had this previously on the 900, on the 2000 Nexus 2, located within the screen itself. But down here, I might move my camera. We now have a hardware beat jump button. Now this is like, I didn't realize how important this was going to be to me until I had it on a player itself, because there's a few things. So my cue points are all in 16 bars, my little red markers. So if I miss these cue points, I can now use my beat jump to hit 8 bars in front, or I can jump 64 beats in front and move to the drop. What I mean is, by holding this top button here and pressing the beat jump button, I'm constantly changing the value. It starts from 1 beat and goes all the way up to 64 beats. And I can also use this while playing live, and it allows me to kind of change my phrases without people even noticing. As long as I do it on bar and in time, I can switch back and forth 16 bars, miss out bits of the track that I don't want to play. So really cool feature. If you get to jump on the CDJ 3000, definitely check out the beat jump. And if you also want to find out how to change the value of the beat jump, hold Call/Delete and then press the buttons below, or jump into the shortcut and you have beat jump value just down here, and you can change it according to whatever you'd like. The next feature that I want to mention is the key sync. So that's located just down here. Another thing what's great about the key sync is, well, they're just generally about working with keys on the CDJ 3000 actually. It like shouts at you what's in key. Also works with related key as well. I can sort my playlist in key, and as you can see, it's bold green on the side, showing that all these tracks would mix harmonically with my master deck that's currently in F minor. Again, it shows you related keys, and if you bring a new track up that's in a completely different key, these will switch as well. It's just nice that they're bright and green, which really kind of shouts to you what you could mix. Also, if you go onto the performance page, you're going to see we have key shift up here. And this moves by semitone each time. When you actually reach in key to like the same key as your master deck, these will turn green to let you know you're in key. And another great thing, which is really small, but just down here on the right, it shows which key you're in according to your tempo fader. So I mix with the master tempo button off, which means technically when I'm changing my drum and bass tracks from 175 to 180, I'm changing the key of the track. With master tempo on, it locks that key, which means that it stays in F minor. But if I turn this off, which is how I play, as soon as I bring that up to 180, it actually changes the key to F sharp minor, which means that I'm mixing an F minor track, but I've changed it to an F sharp just by changing my pitch. Now I can start to get creative amongst my other CDJs and mix different tracks in. Essentially what I'm trying to say is the key sync and key shift, they're high quality, and it's basically changed the way I've mixed. Means that I'm not mixing always in key. I'm kind of going down a completely different route, which as a DJ, the creative side is the most important. And I'd say overall, the CDJ 3000, that's the one thing it's brought out for me, is that creative side. It allows me to be a lot more different to how I was DJing before, which is something that I was looking for without having to go onto something that was completely different. And I feel like Pioneer DJ have absolutely nailed it in that sense. And obviously I'm talking from a Pioneer DJ head here, but I'm a user at the same time, and this is what I use in the club. So for me, this stuff I'm saying now is all personal opinion, and the things I like. The last thing I want to mention is just workflow. Again, it's in line with our Recordbox software. On the left-hand side, we have different tabs. I always have playlists at the top. I can search through my playlist. I can click when I jump into a playlist. So if I'm searching down here and I want this track, when I press it, it actually jumps into that track in the playlist. Small feature, but really cool. Also, I can load from the screen as well, from the right-hand side, BPM and key. If I press within this area, I can actually load that track onto the screen. Small thing, but the workflow works for me. And I think that's one thing we always excel at Pioneer DJ. We take something that's conventionally quite hard to use and we make it very user-friendly. And a lot of people think with the different features on this, it would be hard to use, but like I say, when you jump on it, I think that it's just seamless, and it's a great product. And I'm really happy when it's come out. I feel like it was at the right time, and yeah, excited to see what it's going to do when the clubs reopen again.
Yeah, you kind of covered a great deal there, Sammy. I really appreciate that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, I may have gone in a little bit.
No, not at all.
To do.
No, we've got plenty of time today. There's no rush. So I wanted to kind of get as much out of you as possible. That's brilliant. It's good to hear,
that's cool.
you know, from your own perspective,
Yeah.
you know, what you like about it as well. And
you know, earlier when you showed up that really old model,
yeah,
I just realised we've got these pictures on here. You should be on screen now, and there's a whole timeline there of previous CDJ players on the screen. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much they've changed since the very first.
There's a real
Newspaper article as well.
Yeah.
There's a real legacy to our CDJs, and if you go back to the history, it's evolved the way we listen to music. It's evolved the way DJs play, and it's just amazing to think that Pioneer DJ has sculpted the kind of rave scene as we know it today through their players, and also through our other players as well, like our PLX range. We've made it so it's fun, creative, and DJing is such a popular kind of hobby now. It's just great to see that we've got the new CDJ 3000 with all the up-to-date features, which fits in line with, I'd say, where we're at of 2021.
Definitely, yeah, and I think it's quite fitting. It started on the 300 and we're on the 3000 now.
Yeah.
That's correct, Tom. That is right. That is cool.
Well, thanks ever so much, Sammy. Appreciate that.
Thank you very
That's
much.
no problem. That's no problem. And just to say, guys, I would absolutely love to do this again, like in the future. When obviously we release new products going forward, we'd be more than happy to kind of get involved again. It's great to showcase this, obviously, to Facebook, and you put it up on YouTube after. So we'd love to come back in and keep on doing these with all our products going forward.
Definitely, yeah. Well, now we know how to actually do it as well. It should be a bit smoother next time.
That's no problem, guys. Thank you for having me on. Thank you. We really appreciate it from the Pioneer DJ end.
Wicked.
Cheers, Sammy. Thanks,
Thank you
mate.
very much, Sammy.
Yeah,
Much
guys,
appreciated.
take care. Enjoy the rest of
Cheers.
the show. Have a good
See
one.
ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much there to Sammy for speaking to us about the CDJ 3000. Up next, we've got Mr. Watson talking to us all about the Denon Prime 2. Let's do it.
Your one-stop shop for sound and lighting. Visit techformusic.co.uk now.
Mr. Watson then, how are we doing? Here we go.
Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Thank you very much to Sammy from Pioneer. Give him 15 minutes and he takes half an hour. Typical. So we now move on from Pioneer to Denon DJ. We're taking a look at the Denon DJ Prime 2, which is dubbed the essential mobile DJ workhorse. So this is a 2-deck standalone DJ system with Wi-Fi streaming. This is the baby brother or sister, for that matter, we're not sexist here, Tech for Music, to the Prime 4, which is the 4-channel version. It's powered by a dedicated multi-core internal processor. It runs Engine OS. It's a purpose-built embedded software platform built for DJs, offering you super fast load times, intuitive navigation, management and search, so you can be at your creative best. So that being said, let's jump in and take a look. So it's got a touchscreen interface. The touchscreen is a 7-inch. It's multi-touch gesture. Let me show that to you. So, like for example, swipe right to load the track, and if you swipe left, it puts it into like a prep folder, and you select what deck you're going into 2. Let's have a look at the jog wheels. Jog wheels have got full color displays. You can see we've put the Tech for Music headphones in there. Usually it would display the album artwork of the track you've got loaded. It also shows information like what else is it? There's track time lapsed and things like that, BPM. But we've got the old Tech for Music headphones in there for today. Moving on to the mixer. This has a 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz audio quality mixer. It's a 2-channel mixer with your usual 3-band EQ, high and low pass filter, and your gain control. It's also got a replaceable crossfader. So for those scratch DJs who wanted to maybe replace it for a Magval crossfader. Although the one that's, it feels a bit tinny. You've got your usual 8 performance pads, which I'll get into those a bit later. So the biggest USP on this controller is the streaming services, I guess. And I'll show you, where are they? So yeah, Beatport Link, BeatSource Link, SoundCloud, Tidal, and now with the new 1.6 update, Dropbox as well. In terms of input sources, you've got one USB on the top. There's another 2 at the back, plus an SD card slot over there. And underneath the unit, you've got a 2.5-inch SATA drive bay. Is it pronounced SATA? Or?
I believe so. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it anyway.
So but you can stick a hard drive in underneath as well. So as you can imagine, having all those music sources, you are going to need quite a lot of storage space.
Mr. Ricky Knight's on saying, "Hey Ian."
Hey Ricky, I hope you're well. Don't know if you're still in hospital or what's going on, but I hope you're well. Something else didn't show you. So track preview as well, as Sammy was saying on the Pioneer. You can do it with this unit as well.
It's like the Denon versus Pioneer show, this, isn't it?
Literally, if you just tap on the artwork, if I had headphones plugged in, I'd be previewing that track now. It doesn't come through the mixer, it just comes through the queue, which I think is a really handy feature. Most other softwares do it, but I think Serato is the only one that doesn't do it, which is really annoying. Some people say, well, why don't you just load the track and have a listen? But when time is of the essence, you don't always have time to load a track, and it's nice to just quickly have a quick preview of the tracks. I feel anyway, it makes you more selective. You don't just, because you're in a rush, quickly load the track. It gives you a chance to quickly listen to a few tracks before you decide what you're going to play next. So I really like that feature. What else? Yeah, so the new added features to version 1.6 is Dropbox, as I've just said. BeatSource Link. BeatSource Link subscribers can now stream on any Engine OS product. The other cool thing about it is you can actually create playlists on the fly, which you normally have to have a computer plugged in, but you can actually create your own playlists on the unit itself. That's how powerful the unit is. Yeah. And there it is there, create, kick on plus, full QWERTY keyboard, type in test, create, and then you just literally select the tracks you want, he says, and then you drag and drop. Again, he says, it's not working. Anyway, that's how I saw it demonstrated. You drag and drop them into the playlist and it's done. The other cool thing is the waveforms. You can have them vertical or horizontal just by pressing the shift and view. Let's go to a track. How do I come out of here?
Pressure's on. Do you have to, do you press view and then does it go back to the waveform view? Yeah, there you go.
So shift.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you are.
I prefer it that way.
I do as well.
What else is there? Yeah, so the effects. Yeah, so also within the unit there's a whole host of things you can change in the utility and preferences. You've got your Wi-Fi settings. There's just so much you can do on this unit, it's ridiculous. Lots of mic settings, so you can adjust the mic gain, have it sent to the booth or not, which I just, in a club environment you don't want the mic coming through the booth. there's lots of different settings for your EQ, crossover. Just so much you can do. That's all the streaming services in there. I don't know if you can see that. Not really.
Probably would do if you're on a bigger screen, maybe.
The firmware gets updated all the time, so they're always working on ways of making it better.
I should just say as well, after we're finished with the Prime 2, Ian's going to show you the Stag Trance 60, which is a very cool lighting fixture. But then after that, we're going to finish off on the Denon Prime Go, which is of the same series of controller to this one, but a much smaller, compact version. So a lot of it will have been covered. What Ian's told you here, because it's very similar. The only difference is it's a lot smaller and compact. But yeah, we'll obviously take a look at that in probably about 15 minutes time. Yeah.
Right, so we'll have a look at the performance features. So you've got the 8 performance pads. They are RGB. Hot cues, loops, rolls and slices. So obviously everyone knows what hot cues are. You can just select. You can use the hotkeys however you want, really. The way I use them is I have, obviously the first one is the beginning of the track. Some tracks have like a slow build-up intro, so it's not you may or may not be able to use it in the mix, and then like the next cue would be like the bass drop, so that's where I usually have my second hot cue, or on a vocal as well. If the vocal starts, I'll have that in my second hot cue. Then the rest of them are just any points in the track you want to get to quickly, I suppose. Which brings me on to, I'm jumping around a bit now, onto the beat jump feature, which again is something that Sammy covered. It is really such a good feature. You can literally go forward and backwards in the track, and the crowd will just never know. Yeah. So if you've got like trance records, or sometimes they look really, really long, and you want to play it, but you don't want to play the whole thing 6 or 7 minutes long. You can literally beat jump, and you can preset how far and how far you go, just to make the track shorter, so it's not long and boring.
It's a bit like sometimes if you're mixing a track in that's got, like a typical kind of modern house track has got like a minute intro, and sometimes what you do is you kind of you start mixing that track in a little bit late. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you might be, say, running out of time on the track you're currently playing. Say you've got 30 seconds left on the current track, and then you start mixing the minute intro track in. It's like you've got 30 seconds of just a boom, boom, boom. So you might want to.
Well, then in that case, you could go back. If you haven't got time to put in a 4-beat loop,
yes, you could go.
You could
go back on the beat jump,
and then put a loop in, I suppose.
Totally.
The other cool thing is the key sync, which is really cool. So you can synchronize the key of both tracks, so mixing in key. It's got full-length pitch faders on it. Pitch range as well, so you can adjust it up to, I don't know what it goes up to, 64 or something. You've got the vinyl stop time, just so if you want it to be slow like a record.
Yeah.
You've got your loop section over there, so that's a 4-beat. You can make it bigger or smaller, or you can adjust it with a jog wheel. Noisy. Censor button to bleep out the swear words. What else is there? There is a dust cover as well, which I forgot to get out the box. A dust cover which fits over the screen, which I forgot to get out the box.
Does that comes with the product, does it?
Yeah.
That's really handy, isn't it? Yeah.
So let's engage an effect. Oh, we haven't got. Yeah, so post fader. The effects, again, you probably can't see on screen, but all the effects are displayed on screen underneath the waveform there. So I can see I've got an echo, 3/4 beats, and I can adjust that all on there. You've got 2 effects, one for each side. Moving on to the microphones, you've got 2 mic inputs, and they are both, they've both got combi connections on the back, so XLR or jack. They share the EQ, so they share a low, mid and high EQ, and there's also a talk over button as well, which you can adjust the sensitivity in the settings. Also on the back of the unit, as I said before, there's 2 USBs. There's XLR on the booth and the master, and you've also got an auxiliary input. So if you're a DJ that has turntables and CDJs and you wanted to plug it into this unit, you can't, unfortunately. You'd have to look at the Prime 4. Also on the back of this unit is the, I don't know what you call it, it's like the network cable for the lighting, for StageLink and Sound Switch and Resolume. So if you're running lighting software as well, there's a connection on the back for that. I think that's about it. Any questions? I forgot to talk about the front. So the front, you've got the usual headphones, both size jacks. You've got the crossfader selection, so you can have it going through or side to side. And then you've got the crossfader contour as well. So again, you can make it either a long fade or a tight for scratch DJs. I think that's about it for the Prime 2. You've got your master, booth and aux volumes up there.
One thing that I really like is, as you can see in the jog wheels in the display, is you can customize those displays to any logo you want. Obviously normally it would display the album art, the track artwork, but if you want to, as we have done, you can import your very own logo, which I really like. I think that's quite cool. And that you can also do that on obviously the Prime 4 as well, which is the next controller up from this, which is a 4-deck. It's pretty much exactly the same, other than it's 4 decks rather than 2.
That
Wicked.
is the Prime 2.
Nice one.
No questions?
No, Ricky's on saying that he should be okay by the end of the week. He's still in hospital, so hope you're well soon, Ricky. Yeah.
Also,
cool.
just wanted to, I forgot as well, it's just the pure build quality of this unit is really, really good. I mean, I like the look of the jog wheels. They feel nice and smooth, and it's just a really good quality, build quality, I think, anyway.
Yeah. Wicked. Well, you've got more of Ian coming up next with the Stag Trance. You better get in position, Ian, before you run out of time.
Get involved now. Fortnightly on Facebook and YouTube. Listen back via our website at techformusic.co.uk.
So here is Mr. Watson once again with the Stag Trance. You're on. Bit of feedback there.
Yes, so here we go. This is the Stag Trance 60. So first thing you'll notice is which I like, is the shape of the unit. You know what I haven't got? 1 second.
Oh, he needs his notes. He's forgot his notes, everybody.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan hid them.
No problem, Ian.
Dob me in there. So, this is a 3-in-1 light effect unit. I don't know if you can see it. So what we've got is 3 sets of color wash LEDs, and each LED is 4 watts, red, green, blue and amber. Then in the center you've got loads of little white strobe LEDs, and there's 12 of them, and they are 1/2 a watt each. And then the laser is a red and green laser. The red is 100 milliwatt and the green is 30 milliwatt. And then the flower LEDs, which are these ones over here, there's 84 of them. I guess divided into three, 0.75 watts each. So 24 red, 18 green, 18 blue, and 24 amber. It's got your standard DMX in and out, IEC mains in and out, and a key switch for the laser. As you can see behind me, I've got a screen set up for you so I can demo it for you. Got any music, Ryan? I'll show it to you without smoke and then I'll pop some smoke on. I can't quite get a grip for the spread on this unit because I just couldn't get a camera in the right position. Hopefully you can see. What I really like is the laser. Put a little bit of smoke out. Priced at just £179. Now, on the last show we promised, well, we hoped we were going to have the Kinta HP, in stock, and we didn't. But guess what? We have now. So here we go. This is the Chauvet Kinta HP. Music on. Again, you can't really see the spread on the video, but it is literally 180 degree spread on this. Go. Chauvet Kinta HP.
Thank you very much there
Ryan.
to Mr. Watson. Now, I did think I'd be ready in time. What I'm trying to do is, I'll put the camera on so you can watch me try and do it. So at least you're not bored out your brains. So basically, what this unit here and also the Prime 2 has the ability to do is to stream using Tidal. You've also got, let's get me notes, we've got Tidal on there, we've got SoundCloud Go Plus, Beatport Link and Beat Source Link, and I've got Tidal myself. So what I'm going to do right now is, whilst I try and talk to you at the same time, is try and link this up with my Tidal account. There we go, that's what I wanted. So there's the code. So basically it's very simple to set up as well. As long as you've got a Tidal premium account, you just go on to, in fact, let me show you. So what you'd do is you'd press the load button, the source button at the top left of the screen, and then there you have your options for all the different streaming services. So I'm going to select Tidal, and there we go. It gives you a code, and you have to put that code in within, it gives you 300 seconds to put that code in. You head over to that link and you put in the code. So let's put it in, USMXX. Let's hope this works. Oh, you are not allowed to perform that action. Let's try again. Ah, okay. Right, okay, let's try, let's make sure I am logged into the right account. Yeah. Let's try that again. Let's get a new code, see if that makes a difference. I have had this working before, so Tidal. Right, let's try again. Q K P F A. Ah, still not working. Right, okay. Plan B. It normally does work. Instead, we shall put a USB in, and we'll roll with that this time. Put that in there. Excuse my very long hair. I tell you what, David is right. My dream weekend is definitely to get a haircut. Definitely. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Right, so as you can see, unfortunately couldn't get the Tidal working. Don't know why. It was something to do with my phone, I think. It was saying I could not perform this action, but instead we've got the USB in. Straight away, this is very similar to the Prime 2 that Ian was showing earlier, other than it's much smaller. It's much more compact and it's much more portable, and that is the main USP of this controller. This is in fact the most portable standalone DJ console ever. Okay, so that's your kind of your selling point right there. So let's just get a track loaded onto the deck. Yeah. Oh. Select deck to load. Load. No, why is it not like this? Let's try that one. Oh, there we go. So similar layout as well. Obviously it works off Engine Prime, and what I love about this is as well, it's actually battery powered. I've got it plugged in at the moment just in case the battery's not fully charged. We don't want it going off part way through. But yeah, it's battery powered. It's got on a full charge. It can last for 4 hours. So that's really good if you're kind of doing, just a short gig, yeah. Maybe 2 or 3 hours. I wouldn't perhaps want to do a 4-hour gig just in case it all of a sudden. Yeah. But I suppose that's great because it's so compact and so small. If you're obviously, when we can actually go to the beach or whatever, you can actually take this down to the beach. Yeah. Get a little battery powered speaker, take it down to the beach, why not? Or even a garden party or something.
A bit of sand in there.
Well, a bit of sand in there might not be too good. Yeah, it's very true. We'll stick to garden parties then. Yeah. Yeah. Also, the fact that this is such a small unit, one thing I really like about it is the screen. The screen, it's a 7-inch screen, and it's a really good size. Everything's very clear. It's very, very good indeed. And again, like on the other one, on the Prime 2, you've also got the horizontal and vertical waveforms by holding shift and then pressing view. It's got 2 different colour effects on there. So you've got a nice basic low pass and high pass filter there, and it's a complete kill as well. So that's really nice. And then I know there's 2 on here. B is a bit of a dub echo, I think. Bit of an echo out. Yeah. So you've got a nice low pass, high pass filter there, and an echo. There are your colour effects. As I was saying earlier, one of the things I really love is the streaming services available. We've got Tidal, which does normally work. We've got SoundCloud Go Plus. We've got Beatport link and Beat Source link. Now, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on streaming.
Personally,
Well, go on. I'll see what you're going to say first.
personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable. This is what I was thinking
Yeah.
before we did this. If that was your thing and you were gonna just go to a gig doing live streaming, the only way I'd feel comfortable is actually I wouldn't, because you'd have to go to the venue,
Yeah.
check the venue's got Wi-Fi, check if the venue's
That's
Wi-Fi
right.
is good enough. But if you imagine on the night you're gonna have how many guests? 150, 200 guests.
Yeah.
All jumping on the Wi-Fi.
That's
So
right,
How
yeah,
reliable
yeah.
is it going to be
Yeah.
unless you use 4G or something on your phone, and then So for me personally, I think it's great as a backup.
Exactly.
If someone asks for a song you haven't got, and you don't have to YouTube it or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not that we do that anyway.
Well, no.
You know,
Right,
shouldn't do that. But
No, I've got everything anyway.
yeah, oh, of course, yeah, Mr. like Radio 1 database. Yeah, but that's kind of where I'd be coming from as well. That's how I'd use it, is as a backup.
Yeah.
But also, like you say, you know, if you're doing a wedding or you know, a birthday party where you've got a whole range of ages, backgrounds, and someone comes up with this request that you don't have, then it's great for that. It's great for taking a look, see if it's on there.
Yeah.
Especially Tidal as well. I really rate Tidal. I mean, I used to be on Spotify, but obviously I'm a Rekordbox user, and recently Rekordbox have integrated Tidal streaming as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, let's switch over to Tidal, see how it is. And honestly, most tracks that I've gone to look for is on there. It's in my opinion, it's as good as Spotify in terms of track selection.
Yeah.
I don't know the facts and figures of how many tracks they've got on their database compared to Spotify, but I'd imagine it'd be pretty similar. Because
I mean, I was impressed when we had the demo of the update 1.6 on how quickly the tracks loaded and how quick the search worked and everything.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be quite a bit of lag, but you know, he did a search for something he'd never played before, searced for the track, loaded it in, and it was literally a few seconds, and you know, engine had done its thing, and it was ready to play. So you can't knock it. And considering he obviously at the time he was on a Zoom with like 50 of us, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, that's right, yeah, it was really impressive.
And that's just his home internet. So
Yeah.
Really impressed. But again, for me personally, I would never. I guess another thing it's good for is for like playlists. Maybe like for example at a wedding. Just playing a playlist on a continuous.
Yeah.
As background music.
That's right. Yeah.
But again, if you're not staying there all the time and you're just relying on the Wi-Fi, let's say you leave to, I don't know, get dressed and come back later and something drops, you know, they're not going to be happy with you, are they?
No.
So,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the future, I guess.
It is, definitely. I'm just going to try one more thing. It's something wrong with my phone, I think. I'm just going to try linking with Tidal one more time. If it does not work, then never mind. Oh, hey, here we go. We're on. Ah, that's just answered our question. So Tidal has over 70 million tracks in lossless audio quality.
Nice.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
Very.
Right, now I've got Tidal on, I can show you. So, let's take a look. So, I've just selected Tidal in the streaming services. I've got a few playlists already saved on my Tidal account. As you can see, I've not got many, I've got 3. So obviously any playlist that you create in your Tidal account will appear on this unit, which is very handy. So I've got my playlist there. I don't really know where they're from, can't remember, but yeah, that's just some generic kind of tech house tracks in there. And another thing I like as well is if you go to genres, it gives you all different genres. So if someone comes up to you and says, "Oh,
got any jungle?
Got any jungle, mate?" good one. There's no jungle on there. Have you got any R&B and soul, mate? Head over to R&B and soul. Head over to, you've got R&B and soul playlists, so you've got different types of R&B. You've got R&B hits, R&B classics, soul classics.
I mean, that's brilliant.
That's amazing. Or just go to tracks and it'll give you some generically kind of, is that a word, generically? Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. It'll give you some popular R&B tracks.
Yeah.
That's good. I like
Really
that.
good.
I'm not going to play any of them because I don't want Facebook to kill the stream due to copyright.
Yeah.
But that's really good. Like, for me, that's great. If you're doing a gig that's open format, you've even got moods in there as well. You've got relaxing playlists. You've got party playlists. You've got where you can read workout playlists, love playlists, focus playlists. So
Really good.
that's really good. I love that. I'd say out of all the features, that is my favourite. The streaming.
How much is it?
Tidal is.
No, how much is Prime Go?
The Prime Go is £899.
Wow.
Portable, most portable standalone unit out there. Battery powered for 4 hours. Again, you've got all your basic mixer functions, 2-channel faders, a crossfader with, I believe has it got crossfader curve on this one? It might be within the settings. I would have thought it would do, but you've got some nice little jog wheels as well. I wouldn't try and scratch on this. Give it a go, but I can't scratch non-stop, so there's no point me trying. But yeah, obviously, your basic mixer. You've got your pads as well, your hot cue pads, your loop pads, your beat, your roll pads. And also it's got. Pardon? What were you going to say?
Something rude, sorry.
Don't be rude. Come on now. You've got 2 microphone inputs as well, which have got their own EQs as well, which is great. Yeah, that's about it really, because obviously Ian covered a lot of the stuff on the Prime 2, which in terms of
Very badly.
interface is the same. The only difference is it's a much smaller. Yeah. What got any messages come in? Ian Watson has every top 40 recording off the radio. Is that true? Probably. Yeah, probably is, to be fair.
That's my tape deck. I record the top 40 every week.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Cool.
Next feature.
Pardon?
Next feature.
Next feature. Oh yeah, of course. We've got our dream weekends. Do you know what? I don't. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, the dream weekend. So, Ian, would you like to tell us? Get over there, Ian. Would you like to tell us what your dream weekend is?
Right. So besides, obviously, Ibiza is something I still want to do. But probably the nightclub I would dream.
There's some nice pictures on
to
there as well.
go to is a club in Las Vegas, and it's called Omnia.
Viva Las Vegas.
We should have some pictures on the screen. I mean, look at that.
Great singing, aren't
That lighting, I think that lighting rig's called the chandelier, and you can see why.
Look at that.
It's just on another level. When I was younger, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, night clubbing, this Omnia nightclub reminds me of a club I... You'd go to the bar, make sure you got in there for happy hour, and then headed off to the club because you knew the club was going to start at probably 9, 10 o'clock, and there would be this light show on. Just for me, maybe it's because I'm a DJ and into lighting, I think it's so important to have a good lighting system in a nightclub. You probably don't really see any light jocks in the nightclub these days. They're expecting the DJs to do it all. I think a light jock and a good light show really sets the tone for the night. So yeah, that's my sort of dream weekend is to be to go to Vegas and check out on the nightclub. Look at that, just amazing.
Nice one. I've got one question, Ian. Really.
When are we going?
Yeah, and can I come with you?
Speak to Natalie. She already
Brilliant.
Yeah, Ryan probably would actually need a chaperone, wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably.
He's not 21
Yeah.
yet, so you couldn't drink.
No, that's true. That's true. That's crazy. Isn't
No
it, really?
rattler for you in Vegas.
No rattler. Is that what the no, it's Cornwall, isn't it? Rattler.
Well, but I'm saying you
Well,
couldn't have
yeah,
it in Vegas.
Very
You'd
true.
get arrested.
Very true. Very true indeed. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it really. You're a bit off camera, Mr. Chico. There we go. Yeah. So there we go then. That was this week's Tech Talk Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed that.
Is it only my weekend we do? What about everyone else's?
Well, I'm getting a haircut on my weekend.
What about what did Chico do?
Mine would be things opening up again so I can take my son somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
how priorities have
Definitely.
changed.
Yeah,
Definitely. I
that
mean,
would be mine.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, if I'm being totally serious, yeah, the haircut's a bonus. But I suppose dream weekend for us, like for me and the family, would be to, you know, we've not seen obviously my grandparents for a long time who live in the northeast. So it'd be nice to get to eventually go and see them when the restrictions allow us to.
Yeah.
We actually went there last year when in the summer when they kind of lifted the restrictions so that you could meet outside. We actually went up there for a day and sat in the garden, and thankfully the weather was really nice. It was sunny, but you know it might not. It could have rained, you know. So
Just
but
5
yeah,
more
thankfully
weeks.
it worked out all right. But
5
yeah,
more weeks till we can open.
Yes.
So, which means, unfortunately, there'll only be 2 more Tech Talk Tuesdays.
People will be going yippee.
Because we'll need the showroom back for a flood of customers, hopefully.
Well, as David where it's just said, my dream week. Let's try and speak. My dream weekend would be a supermarket sweep in Tech for Music. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we've been going on a while now. It's already 17 minutes past 2.
That bloody pioneer chap, weren't it?
Yeah, it's that Sammy bloke. We're not having him back. Only joking. Yes, wicked stuff. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this afternoon. We do hope we've not bored you too much, but remember, we're always here to help, and if you're interested in any of the products that we've mentioned or any other products that are on our website, then you can get in touch with us at any point. You can give us a call on 01604 641 100. Send us an email, that's sales@techformusic.co.uk, or we are available on a live chat which is on our website techformusic.co.uk, and it'll appear in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and you can speak to one of our very friendly workers here at Tech for Music. So if you've got any ideas for the last 2 Tech Talks, maybe you've got a certain product in mind that you'd like us to have a look at and talk about, then please get in touch with us and let us know about that as well. Of course, we're on our social media pages as well, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and all the handles are at the bottom there. So make sure you check us out on there. Give us a follow as well, that'd be great. And we've got loads of stuff going on the pages. We've got blogs, we've got obviously new products, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, check us out there, we'd really appreciate that. Well, from all 3 of us, myself, Ryan, Tom and Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
And stay safe, and we'll see you again very soon in 2 weeks' time.
See you soon.
Thank
See
you
ya.
very much,
Bye.
everybody.
It's about the crowd. It's about the music. It's about the sound you make and the rush you get. It's about the gear that makes it happen. Tech for Music, Northampton's premier DJ store with a massive choice of decks, speakers, lighting, special effects, and the latest DJ gear on the market. Try it out in our demonstration showroom and get expert advice, or shop online 24/7. Tech for Music. See techformusic.co.uk.